Okay, so yeah, I think I got everything into the title actually. First draft, but liked how I kind of ran through it after I wrote it. I haven't actually even written the chords in. I just figured, that I think they're simple enough. I don't even know if there's a change, except for that filler. From Filler Stiller, just kidding. Seems to be a bit more than a filler. Which is a piano term. By the way, I'm not sure if I'm just not finding it. I've had this keyboard for a while. I'm just going to put it here because nobody's here yet. So put this here. I think that's too stacked, or maybe not. It just seems like just because it's where the chair is. Okay. Tempo, and that's weird too. When I was writing about the call thing, just a moment. I just have to step away for another quick minute. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for me to settle in, but usually they're pretty good. And sorry for the distraction. I had something in my teeth because I've eaten recently. Side of the rock. So I really do have a lot around there. Maybe I'll just bring this here with me because now I'm thinking there's something else I want to get quickly that I thought was in my pocket. Really? None of them? Huh. Well, I haven't been on the couch today, but I guess that was the ones I brought upstairs. So, yeah, I'm going to do this song. It might be the first one that mentions one of my loved ones, but recently I've done one or two other about the other one. And it's that line too of, what classifies as a loved one. I mean, I in my youth, I knew them quite well, and in person. So I think, but then again, part of me thinks that depending on the connection, you could consider loved ones to be people you only know online too. Who was it? I don't think it was Don, but I can't remember who it was that said that they were. Oh, right, it was Nicola. Anyway, not gonna say Nicola who, and it doesn't really matter. No one's here yet, so just either take this moment to utilize the facility, get yourself a drink or a snack. And actually, somebody is here, so I'm gonna start in just a moment. Technically, I am started. I just got a little bit distracted with the message, and I don't know how early and how quickly I'm going to get a call back for the call I'm waiting because they might have to talk to a couple of the other people first. I don't think they do, but they might think they do, and hopefully the answer will still be yes. Hoping to have an in-person performance opportunity soon, but I don't. I don't drive. I don't do bars. Hectic, noisy environments. I'm so with, so I'm really geared to the YouTube thing, but it's not. In person does have its perks and its benefits. So. Um, Well, okay, and I'm just going to send this message to someone because it sounds like they might actually be someone that I'm familiar with, and that may or may not be the person that comes in and comments. It sounds like they might actually be available to watch us right now. Maybe they've got their kids off to school. But my only messenger device, it's the channel above or then. I appreciate your patience, and I hope you will think this is worth it. Out of curiosity, does the person that we have watching, I haven't been rolling that long, but do you play keyboard or know somebody that does? And I'm thinking you might likely know somebody that does if you don't. Hoping that chat is behaving, is working. I'll check that in a moment. I want to make sure I'm not too worried about the audio. Not, the audio looks like it's doing what it normally does. The green dots don't go much beyond the second one, but anytime I look back at them, I can hear me. Other people seem to be able to hear me. What I'm not too sure about is the comment section. So I just want to quickly check that, which is another reason why I want to kind of also see if I can get my friend to tune in. But I'm just in another tab at the moment, and if my eyes are looking a little bit funny, it's because I'm reading. I don't know why, it gets notifications of that one. And probably gotta find it because we use it to get notifications of that one. But is it that one? It doesn't have a title. But it didn't put this one there. So hopefully I'll know before too long whether the chat is working. I mean, I see my comments, and I do see another one there right now. Type that in German because I understand. just trying to help a friend find this. Okay, so we got somebody here, and I'm going to hop right to it. I am hoping, I haven't found it yet, but I'm hoping, I do want to keep this charging, but I also need to be, I told her how to find it in a very, when they was in the link, but in a very good way. So if she can't find it, but now I might be making it more confusing, so I don't know. I'm also going to turn this heat down a little bit. Oh, I did. Okay. Then, yeah. Can't remember if she's been in my videos yet or not. I don't think I should share that. I don't want to be serious. I'll be funny in November. Giggle, ha 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 ha, giggle. So I want to do this while the melody and tune is kind of still in my head, and while I can still make sense of my writing. I didn't type it. Maybe I should have, but I'll see how it goes getting this recorded, and then if it goes as good as the run through, I'll be happy. And then, yeah, I can, if I need to, I have the pen here. I can kind of where's my, there we go. I can redo it. Okay, I don't know why it's back on the tempo thing. Is 88 supposed to mean something to me other than that it might be how old she is? one of the people I mentioned in this song. It's weird. I've read 39 years, and I think I've only known 2 Lindas. I don't even see the name that often. No, I want a lot. It's weird. It's very weird. I don't know why. Where are the Lindas hiding? Chapstick if you're curious. Chapstick if you're not. Is she typing right now? Yeah, it looks like it. Maybe she doesn't even try it. I just have to remember to close this. And let that in some vent there, but I want to let in some air. Okay, so we got somebody here. So yes, I have yet. So it's not going to be real loud. I have not been able to find a saxophone or a saxophone. I have been able to find a saxophone, a bagpipe sound effect, but maybe that's a good thing. You know, I know that bagpipe's one of those instruments, but also, who was it? I think it was Unk who said that. Who's a guy I know of Indian background, who had said that he has played the bagpipes at one point in time in his life. It's the second time today that somebody's mentioned something about adding something to favorites. I know nothing of choosing favorites. No, I don't know how to do it. Online, anyway. Kind of want to wait to see if she shows up, or at least until the next person does. But I also, like I say, I noodled through this just before I started, and I don't want to. I don't want the melody. It's not like it's super complicated, but I don't want it to escape me. You know, escape my grasp. you know. Do people like it when people explain their songs before they do them? Either their interpretations of songs that they cover or their originals? Trying to decide if I should do that. And if I did, how I would do it. I'm not too sure. So maybe I shouldn't. I mean, the song kind of speaks for itself. It really does. And I also am going to add to the comments here that so I'm just trying to help a friend to who's curious about this to find it. But okay. So anywho, yes, I want to add to the comments once I get this lotion rubbed in. I put so much on. That particular time, I didn't think there was that much left in there. But if they can't, if somebody doesn't suggest other lyrics, I'll probably just go back to the top. Reminder, this is rough draft, but sometimes, and I could record it in something else, but my devices are old. They don't keep storage space very well. I don't mind sharing the process, and that kind of stuff. So I'll do it here, and in this way too, I've got the melody, and I can get, like I say, some feedback. And I don't know if it's a complete song yet. So, like I say, in the comment that I just put there, you can help me figure that out. I'd appreciate it. There was somebody there for a few minutes, or not a few minutes, like maybe 2 minutes. Is that a few? But they seem to have left. I mean, it really should. It really should. But I mean, I'm willing to take. I don't want to be mean to say that. I'll try and re-forward it and let you know that it doesn't take hours. Might take hours to get to the song, but I've got time. How about you? If not, you can just skip ahead. I always intend to chat on videos too. I feel mixed about doing it, but I mostly would like to. I mean, I somewhat like the idea. So, man, I hope that it comes out as good as it feels like it will and should, and that I did add a small part to the first part, but as far as I'm concerned, I just do the same chord pattern. It should be doable. Okay, maybe it will take hours. Just kidding. It's just scrolling slowly, like it's scrolling a little bit and then kind of getting stuck for a few seconds. Just trying to, I don't want to put too much, whatever, too much, super bad, too much focus on this, and the dog's now noisy because there's work truck out there. But at the same time, I'd love it if my friend can tune in and I'm excited, when anybody tunes in, to be honest. And so just because, oh my gosh, it's so and so. Although I did notice after that Maxi moment, he seemed extra excited to see certain people, but he also was a little out of music mode. Oops, oops, I did it again. Just kidding. But this has been kind of quiet, so I wouldn't mind helping her find it. She sounds like she's available, and she's quite a busy person, so I'm kind of surprised. I guess I wasn't looking when. Well, I don't really need to send yet because I look like the same person there, pretty much. That was back when I was wearing my other hat, though. Okay, I see what it's doing. Okay, I think she's here. I think she's found it. So, as much as I don't want to lower the heat much more or turn it off and forget to put it on, although I'd probably remember because I'd get chilly. So maybe I'll do that because I do want to close this door and I don't want to get too warm and I don't know how much beyond this song I'm doing either. So. I know it's an old boiler and it says to turn it on and off and I keep treating it like it's central air because that's what I've grown up around and that's what makes sense to me. She's not that old, but I'm having to teach her. Above. Then how the heck do you do it now? I don't remember. Okay, so she ends up on that, but it's not the right one. Yeah, that don't work out. That's good. Okay, I gotta starting this. It's just, she's showing interest. She's showing availability. She's also showing that she doesn't know how to navigate YouTube very well. But I do it every day, and a lot of people do, but I guess a lot of people don't. This is where she needs her kids. It's not even like she's that old. I really don't know. But I'm hoping the person just tuned in might be who I think it is, and even if it's not, welcome. You are welcome. Thanks, you're welcome. Just kidding. So I'm going to do this song. It's, like I say, still in the first draft. So please, must not have been who I thought it was, unless they're really... No, but okay. Anywho, it's rough, perhaps, but it sounded all right in the playthrough. We got two of you here, so I'm just going to roll with it. I'm going to move this so that it's not right above the speaker of the keyboard, so that it's not hopefully quite as loud. Got from 1 to 2. Let me know who's watching, or who let me know that you're here if you'd like to in the chat. Nimble initials. And yeah, if you've ever been to the channel before, how you came across it, and watch it, be my friend, you'd be like, well, you don't have to say this because then it'd be obvious, but I came across it because you told me, and I finally figured out how to get here. Anywho, so I don't know how to find the bagpipe style on this keyboard, but it may not sound that great anyway. It might sound better than actual bagpipes. No offense to bagpipe players, but what I did find is that the sound I was using? I don't know. That's good. Mamma Mia. What a great channel name. What a great channel name. Glad to have you here. Man, that asks for certain songs now, doesn't it? Funny, because I was just thinking of a song I believe is from there a little bit earlier this morning. I've not been awake very long, but I was thinking of it. So anyway, having a day off today, or at least have a bit of time. So glad to have you here. let's try this. Like I say, gentle because it's rough, but gentle because it's rough. That was not meant to sound like a pun. And yeah, and if you have any questions about what this was about, I mean, I think some of the lyrics will make it obvious. Or if you have any thoughts, I put a couple comments above. 3, 4, 5 to be exact. So it's really very poly. And and yeah, so I've got that there, and then I've got the style. Sounds like it's Spanish. It sounds like a pepper. Did you say you, out of curiosity? So yeah, it didn't take that long to find it, right? I'll find that later. Okay, so we got two here. Let's do this thing. So yes, I think I've settled on the title. I've got the lyrics here in front of me. This is honoring a couple of my friends that have passed away, and if it brings up anything within your feelings and things you've been through, losses you've had, as I say, usually feel the feels. It's okay to do so, and we can talk about it. Okay, so. And I'm still getting used to this instrument and playing the accompaniment with other stuff. So, and I really am just working with chords here. So, sitting under the Scottish sun. I'm just gonna change the tempo a little bit. Feels like it's slower than I did before. Sitting under the Scottish sun. As it's nighttime elsewhere in the world. Coffee, tea in hand. My Scottish grandmothers and me. Sounds a little bit different already than the first run through, but whatever. Friends gone before us, family and friends who adore us. Sorry for there wouldn't be that much of a pause. I'm just trying to figure out what the next chord is because I didn't write them in. Silly me. Because they're really quite simple. Hopefully it's balancing with my vocals. I mean, I think the commenter would I think Mamma Mia would be saying if she couldn't hear me singing. So again, it's rough. I'll turn it down a smidgen. Her son may be my gay, but to her, Mr. Prevention is way A-okay. And if you have a cover song request, feel free to put that below. This is ironic. What you go by on here, by the way, but it doesn't have to be from that. And I'm about to mention the word mom. And a grandmother was already mentioned. Wild, eh? So, rough draft. It will hopefully become more polished. Although sometimes my original songs fade into the mist. Okay, good. I just don't go back to them sometimes, even if I like them. Leanne's mom would wait for her to come home. Fate? She was running late. But is it fate? Been a few years. Her daughter in her 40s cancer ran through her bones. In her veins and such, she who has done so much for kids. She was a teacher. Sorry about the dog. Her smile hid. She never did. But what cancer did. Her young kids had to say goodbye, but it's just farewell. Try not to cry a lot, 'cause the angels would not want. A little's okay to help you through the pain. It can be lonely as heck. Yeah, that rhymes. Sorry about that. So it's not farewell. I gotta change the tempo and tell the dog to stop barking. It's kind of going with it though, right? It can be lonely as hell. Yeah, that rhymes best, but I prefer hell. Though I don't prefer to keep living these days, mostly wasting away. 'Cause it's not okay. And then I think it would go back to the beginning, which you heard, I think, when you tuned in. And yeah, that would be to about the mom and grandma. I thought that's what you meant. So that was a song you've never heard me do before, because it just got wrote this morning. So nobody's heard me do it before until now. So it was a little bit rough, but if you have a song request, I'd love to try and do that. We don't have to get hugely into it, and I've maybe even mentioned it to you before, but I'm not into metal. Hard rock, sure. This time of the morning, not sure. Thanks for the like, by the way. I think it was from Mama Gina. But then there was a second person there very briefly, and now it's back to one. And started bang one. Not much into blues or jazz, and I realized that styling may have been. I wanted it to sound more Celtic or Celtic, however you want to say it, but I don't know if that's in this keyboard. There's a lot of stuff in here, but I don't know what it would be under. Ballad, that starts at the 25s. Do you have any musical people in your family, Mama Gina? But at least I figured out most of my scribbles, so there is that. There is a thought. Yeah, because other than that, unless it's in waltzes or traditional, I thought it might be actually. So just a moment here. What am I looking for again? Celtic, right. Okay, it doesn't look like it's in ballad. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That does remind me of a funny joke. I'll have to send it to you. Okay, well, that's a march. Polka. Yes, I actually looked at those. Yeah, there is one called Scottish Reel, but I didn't like the sound of it. I don't know if I'm just too familiar with in my past and currently keyboard presets or whatever, but that just sounds so generic. Do you have a song request? My uncle was a music teacher. Oh, really? Used to play a few instruments. Yeah, we've got a few, but music is my happy place. Oh, thank you. Wait till you hear me sing something that you know, not to toot my own bugle, but I think that you'll feel the same thing then, and I appreciate that, by the way. Oh, maybe you and the family that your family that live in your home can pick up an instrument before the year's done or into the new year. That sounds, and I'd be happy to teach. So yeah, and then we're in the waltzes. Yeah, no, there isn't. But one thing I've been enjoying doing with this keyboard is taking a song and doing my own cover of it and making it sound like a different genre. Old school country, yeah. and new school country. And what's in between old and new? Blue? Old blue. How is old blue these days anyway? I'm glad you're getting to see me in video form. Everything you expected? Sorry, being obvious, aren't we? I don't imagine you post since you had a hard enough time getting here, but you actually didn't do too bad. Not as good as like a person that knows what they're doing, but now you do. Man, it's big, but I don't like that thingy, and I don't like that thing either. How long have you been, Mamma Mia? There's actually a video I have way back in the day that had your first, whatever I believe your first name might be. Just a sense I'm getting. I did a video where I was thinking about people that I've had in my life and kind of making up little ditties about them. And I was slightly surprised I remembered this one. I took a writing class with her. I knew her for what, maybe 2 months? However long the writing class was. It wasn't a year. It wasn't even half a year, I don't think. And then, can you suggest another one? I'm not sure I know that one. I think I do, but I'm also not sure what I think of it. Sometimes my head's a little particular, but I also struggle to think of songs. Don't we all have a particular head sometimes? Like once I find out what that means, I'll let you know. I was kidding. Part of me wants to keep with the theme, although I don't mind the country idea. And it's funny because somebody was just telling me that they don't like country that much. And I let them have it. Just kidding. I says, how dare you not like the world and all the countries in it? Just kidding. See, I it's just who I am. I was like, oh, I want to do a comedy themed one. And I might do that like very specifically with no specific idea. I'll get that from the viewers. But I can't help but be funny. Even when, underneath it all, there's maybe depression. Not maybe. There is depression. There is whatever. I can't remember exactly, but I had a thought recently, and sometimes coping, but other times it's just enjoying yourself. Like when they diagnose people with bipolar or manic whatever elation, which I don't have, but it makes me think: are they not just? I'm no psychiatrist, bit of a life coach, but are they not just a person with a spectrum of emotions, like any of us? Maybe they're a little bit more sensitive than some, but So yeah, any other suggestions for country? And I believe, is he not the one that was with Dolly? Because I was watching some Dolly related things recently. And then also, I kind of want to stick with the Celtic. I don't know if it's Celtic or Celtic. I think most of my life I've called it Celtic, the rare times that I've even mentioned it. But I hear lots of people call it Celtic. So Scottish, Irish, Gaelic would fit into that, I think. Gaelic, Gaelic, Celtic, I don't know. Yes, sir, they did. A few songs together. Yes, sir, eh? I'll take it. It's all good. It's I always confuse formal and informal. I don't get called sir very often. It feels a little awkward, but I know you're not meaning anything by it. Plus, but I'm not called ma'am very often either. So, and I demand to know why. Call me ma'am, damn. Or damn, call me ma'am. I don't know. Call me madame. G is older than me, and he sometimes still says that word. Like if somebody at work or whatever and is in the way or whatever, he'll say, "Excuse me, madame," or maybe ma'am, but madame. Sometimes I'm like, you realize how old that word is, and some people are not going to like to be called it, especially young ones. Them young ones, they're so particular. Hey, I'm hitting a new decade in a week or two. And I haven't been feeling young entirely for quite a long time. I believe it's a hard K sound. Celtic. Okay. It was like a hard K, hard knock. It's a hard knock. So I found a preset in here that fits with that quite well. Okay, I'll look up Dolly Parton. You know, Halloween is around the corner. I could probably get away with dressing up a little bit, and I even kind of thought of it today because I've been meeting cool people, and yeah, I've had mixed signals from some people, but oh, I guess this is the only device you have on you right now, and are you watching this with anybody or just by yourself at home? Or I almost want to do right though, but I don't. Almost want to do Westlife, but I don't. But yeah, so it's Halloween, but still, some people will take that kind of costume and show how twisted their minds really are. I mean, but then they do that with other costumes too. So anyway, and they certainly don't need to do that on this channel. But I don't know if I want to put myself. It would air up my arms a little bit more. It would also show my hairy armpits. Let's just say I've collected a few things. I have a story about friendship. Speaking about these two, just very quickly for a moment. The first Linda was someone I knew from an open mic. I don't mind that I put her son's name in there because I actually have lost touch with her. When I stopped going to that and a group we used to know each other from in person, life went on. We lost touch. We didn't know each other other than when we ran into each other. She's older. We would have thought there could have been lots of people, and I've asked a few, and they're like, kind of familiar. Yeah, I knew her, but I don't have the info, and I believe she's passed away. But if she hasn't, and even if she hasn't, I'd love to meet her son. And I did know his name. I found a way to put that in the song. Some people I don't do that kind of thing often, but it's because I'd like to reconnect or connect with him or them. I did used to hate to be called ma'am until I realized people were saying it out of respect and not age related. Yeah, I mean, he's just saying, out of my way, I'm trying to get this stuff to the shelf, or I'm trying to receive a bunch of orders that are lining up, and there's not enough of us to take them, and we should really be getting them by appointment only, but we don't, but we only get them till 1, but people sometimes still come after that. Sorry. I'm ranting a little bit on G's behalf, but he loves his job and he's very blessed. Thank God he has it, because on the income I currently have, we wouldn't manage otherwise. So if you know anybody who'd be a great podcast guest, has a cool hobby, has a neat career, almost anybody, I think, could fit this bill, even if their name is not Bill. A friend that's watching here, or anybody else, or maybe even you yourself, although I don't know if I have that many questions for others, but other than how do I do CPR? Just kidding. But I'd love for you to refer them to me. It doesn't have to be here in this video, but if somebody comes, because I don't even know how to tag. I do in chat when I'm watching lives, but I don't, and I guess I can but otherwise I don't know how. But if you know anybody, you know how to get that to me. I was watching Dolly Parton impersonators the other day, actually. I just don't like that she did a song with Running Again with the Engines Door. But other than that, God love her for all the reasons. But I've been hearing Jolene a lot lately. In fact, if I get a phone call, my very first comment that I put at the top of this chat mentions that I'm waiting for a phone call. It might actually, it's about a workshop I've been going to and a couple questions I had. And the last one is this week. I'm a little disappointed, even though the theme is mostly grief. Oh, I know that. And we thank you for what you do. But anywho, I've forgotten what their names were. Now that I know that one of them's name is Jolene, I kind of remember. And I would say, just don't take my man. We can share. But no, I don't think I do it that way. She actually looks a little bit like my friend who passed away at 32. I may have mentioned before. Well, I have on here. I know I have. She looks a little bit like her, and it's ironic because I came across this place because of her passing. Um, I don't think the other one's Jolene. She'd have a foreign name, and the other one's Emily. And only I know that, and other people from the group. Everybody else does not know where this group is because I'm not saying, and I won't. But yeah, if I do get an interruption, it'll be very brief. You're welcome to stay or come back in 15 minutes. If I do, I don't know when I'm getting the call. If you hear it in half an hour, if you're still here, that's not the call I mean. That's one I'm ignoring, and I could tell you why. I've mentioned it in past videos, but you haven't seen them because this is the first one I think that you've seen. But yeah, so Linda, and then the other one was my friend's mother, as it said in there, and she passed with cancer in her 40s. You want me to play Jolene? I hate that song in a way, but I also don't mind it. The reason I hate it, if I had to guess, or if I had to say a reason, I did a video recently about relationships, and that meant like significant other type of relationships and relationships in general as well. And I mentioned there too about being poly, not actively, but open to it. So it's the word take, I think, in that. It's like, that's not how my mind necessarily works. I'm not saying that cheating is good, but poly isn't cheating. Right? And so, and of course there's different ways to do it. Anything is, I think you say okay with me. It doesn't have to be Jolene. But yeah, so that, I get very literal sometimes. It's like, yeah. Anyway, I don't know if I'm making sense with what I'm saying. I know what I'm trying to say, and I'm thinking I'm making sense, but I don't know wildflowers. Oh my goodness. You're the only one here, but somebody might tune in and they may be a jerk. Well, then I can block them, But what if they don't say anything and they have a jerk mentality, all jerks should self-identify. Unfortunately, some of them don't know that. Yes, Reba. Okay, I missed the Reba part before. What Reba songs? I know you're saying anything, but can you? I mean, yeah, she's got two. Now I'm thinking Julia Michaels. I don't know any famous Ginas, but maybe I'll just share really, really quickly here with you because you're the only one here right now. We're 48 minutes in. If somebody else hears it, they hear it. If they don't, they don't. You may remember that even though it may not be obvious right now, I'm non-binary. That's the phrase I kind of use because that's the language that's, used. I don't really go by the they part. And there's a second person tuned in. So let's see here if there's a Dolly song or a Reba song. If there's any particular Reba songs like a Reba, let me know. I feel like I might know more of her songs, and I actually was thinking of one just the other day. I think it was this one. Now, here's where the fun really begins. I appreciate your patience here. I'm typing with one finger. I'm not really sure why, but I've got it all in here, except for Reba. Put Reba in because this is her song. I saw one of her music videos recently, and she was sitting on a bed just pulling out a ton of tissues. And I thought, you're wasting them. At least cry. I'm beginning to take the mindset of, anyone else think like me or not, makes no difference to me. I know my worth, and so should you. Really well put. Really well put. We have to know our own worth, and we have to see it in others. And sometimes it takes a little time. Personally, I don't think it usually does. But for some people on either side of the discovery, whatever you want to call it, takes a bit of time. And then you're like, yeah, this person's worth it. And I'm hoping that the other person that's been here for 2 or 3 minutes so far is starting to think that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate that. Donations welcome but optional. Chatting is never forced but invited. And now, what's fun with this keyboard thingy, of which I have before me, is I can do Reba and choose a country style to have as a backing kind of track, or I could do karaoke, but then, when it recognizes the actual audio, then it doesn't see it as a cover anymore. Um, I did a video not long ago, monetized it, singing a cover with my friend's family band. Now, she wasn't in the band often. She worked in the music industry, but not in a band. And she worked in restaurants. And but it was them playing it. They played this at her funeral, for goodness sakes. And I sang along with it. I didn't show it in the video because I'm not that fancy with the technology. I may have briefly with my other device said, look, see, or whatever. And they said that this contains content owned by, but lots of people are doing covers on here. Tons of them. And they should be allowed to do so. And there's videos I come across sometimes where the person is watching other people cover their songs and enjoying it. They're thinking, get this person a record deal. They're thinking, wow, that's better than my version. That, Pink comes to mind. There are some other ones. Anywho, so yeah. We could talk more about that other thing, maybe one-on-one, even though I do agree with what you said. But yeah, so all that said, I'd like to do this Reba song, but I'm not going to do it in a country style. Do you have another genre that you might like to hear it in? I don't want to say the band that does this often. It's what they're well known for. I mean, other people do it too, but because, sometimes you got to think of yourself first. And, I don't want you to start getting addicted to them. And they've got lots of content and not remember little old me anymore, to Mama Gina, I think you've already subscribed. Hopefully you see that button, but if you click it, or there might be a drop-down arrow, you can hit the notification bell. Used to be, I never knew why people said that. Hit the notification bell. What's wrong with just subscribing? But then you'll know when I'm live again. Just use your style. I enjoy it either way. This is the thing. I have more than one style. I thought you could tell that. And I'm sometimes very indecisive. But we have a third person just tuned in. And so let's see what we got. That's very country. Let's try this one, just to pick something quick. 6 pounds, 9 ounces, looking up at me as if I have all the answers. I hope I have the ones you need. But I've never really done this. Now I know what's good. Has to be really fast, apparently. Sometimes I'll protect you from everything that's wrong. Other times I'll let you just find out on your own. That's when you'll be growing, but all the time I'll be knowing that you're gonna fly with every dream you chase. Shouldn't promise that. Sorry. We're gonna fly with every dream you chase. Yeah, you're gonna cry, but know that that's okay. If life's not okay, if you hang in there, you're gonna see that sometimes bad is good. I don't know if that's working. Let me grab the guitar. I haven't played the guitar in a while, and I kind of want to do that. Okay, just a moment. Whew, it is hot in here. Oh. I don't know if this is my favorite song of hers either, but I don't hate it. And I couldn't find a pick recently, and geez, I away right now, so I'm trying to find a good bread clip. I want to ask you about colors. I already know about that. AMDB and Asian America's Funniest Videos. Just kidding. Okay. The other day I played something on here, or I tried to, and I was like, "Ugh, that doesn't sound very good." But it's in tune. It's in tune, as I just noticed. So I think it was, but it sounded fine on a different instrument too. So I'm not really sure what that's about. Okay. If you have any other Reba song requests, Dolly song requests, here's the clip I used the other day actually, or any other song requests, feel free to put them below. Oh, I also wanted to just take a moment to do an idea, because it just came to mind, to do an idea that I thought of last night, but didn't get around to doing. And there was 3 here, now there's 2, and I guess that's meant to be. But I just wanted to take a moment because I thought to do so, like I say the other day. And I'm always trying to balance the chat, the chatting, the talking with the music. And I have a feeling it might just be Gina here now, but I'll tell you too. You matter. Oh, how very much you matter. And you're certainly making this podcast enjoyable because you're the only one saying anything. I'm glad that the retention was there. They may have meant to like, but their device died or they got distracted. Because I think the like was from you. But yeah, you matter. I don't know. This song kind of this particular song, though, the truth of the matter is, speaking of matter, and I was going to get all deep. I was thinking of a way last night to try and get all deep, and I've done it in the past, I think. But, seriously, you may feel like you're alone in your struggles and blah, 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 and all this great stuff I was going to say. But you have to check out other lives for that, and future lives. I don't know if it's too dark with that, but it was too bright with it. So, but that song I was just looking at kind of makes me, it's not any differenter on the screen. Kind of makes me think of, it's early in the morning and I got to plug in my tablet soon, but kind of makes me think of parenting a bit much. And I'm not a parent. If that's not a parent, then neither am I. This one kind of does too, though, but I'm going to do it. My anniversary was in the summer. And I performed at it, as did my spouse, together and a couple separately. And this one I did. And speaking of what people like in country or not, my aunt is quite into country. But much like my mother, she's not the greatest at giving feedback. Now, I know my ability, but the validation, the even if it's not feedback, comments, other than, so I guess you like country music, you did a Reba song. And this is the song I did for my dad to bring him to my wedding in spirit, even though he would have been there anyway. But, it's only you here right now. I want to go back to that previous mention. So yeah, one easy way to explore that is with fashion. And we have a small little shop that we run. And there was a few ladies, they were on a ladies' weekend thing, which started on Thursday, I think, but whatever, back then. And there was a lot of them here. And so we have the upstairs and the downstairs. So she was one of the ones that was upstairs. And we started somehow talking about what she did for work, which is a cannabis coach. And not long after she left, I sent her a message because I'd gotten her business card and said, would you like to be on my podcast? And she said, and she very quickly, even though she was with her, not to use a mean term or a rude term, it's just, there was a lot of them. They came in a big vehicle. There was like 8 of them. The gaggle of geese, she'd only left our place like 5 or 10 minutes before. And she says, I'd love to. So she was on mine. I was on hers. And we've stayed in touch, and we got to see each other at a summer festival, which was really nice. It was her first time going to it because she actually doesn't live in our city. She lives about 6 hours away. and mostly our connection's been very great and very special. I mean, maybe there's been a little ups and downs, but that's what happens when you're connected with others, right? And coexisting. Uh, there is yet more to that story, but I want to do this song called "The Greatest Man I Never Knew." Oh, is it still you here, Gina? I'm pretty sure. I hope you don't mind me calling you that. I know I'm talking about initials and this and that, and you're not like an avid YouTuber. I don't know how often you comment on things. You did figure that out, thankfully. If I said Mama Gina, people would think I was saying some fancy word, and I would be. Is it still you here? I appreciate all your time today. I'm not sure if you how much more you got, but this has gotten. I mean, they do sometimes. They do. They just do. I'm not going to keep repeating it like that guy I discovered last night, but they get a bit long sometimes. But I have the time, In a couple of days, I have a bit going on. But today, just chores and online stuff. Really just one chore. And Infinite, that song as well. No worries, no one would know who I am. And online. Inline? I don't know what you're saying by that. But I'd like to get in line, and I want to be near the front because it's been a while since I've. That makes me think of another song. But while it's just you again at the moment, who I trust with giving this information to an hour into things. I don't know if I should do this song though. Remind me, Rating Outside the Line. You like what song too? I didn't see. Oh, The Greatest Man? Anywho, why I mentioned this lady, and it may sound a little bit odd, but some people say keep business and friendship separate. She didn't seem to have that mindset. She really enjoys connecting with people and also educating them on her knowledge, and she's a bit of a life coach too, actually, even though like I took some sessions with her, and it was supposed to be about cannabis for health benefits, and it is legal here, but really it was life coaching. I'm still trying to figure some things out, but it was a steps in the process, right? And I had been reminded once when I was talking with her that I would like to feminize myself a little bit more sometimes. I'd like an added feature. Not that it's all that femininity means. And I mentioned this to her, and we got to talking, and it ended up being that she bought me a little. She bought me, not necessarily a little, wearable somethings, which make me think of Dolly in a way. And when I think about it, she wasn't. I'd known her maybe a month or two at this point. But we did talk almost every day, almost. Now it's kind of every few days, it feels like. But and I think that she did that because she utilized me for a service, and I think she was supposed to get me like $20 or $30 from that, plus the cost. And she saved shipping costs because her dad brought it. He didn't know what he was bringing, but he brought it, and he lives in our neighborhood. But she, and it was not very well made, but it's a little bit of a tricky apparatus, if that's what we want to call it. I don't know. But basically, well, one thing that she said is that her daughter kind of related, and she'd probably enjoy helping me shop, but I didn't want to do it in person. And so, but yeah, so basically, I can't remember. Oh yeah, so she was supposed to pay, do that and then make up the difference for the service, but I don't know if she ever did. She certainly didn't to get that stupid land title. I wish I'd never gotten it. I'm just going to open the door for a few minutes of fresh air. Sorry if it's noisy. Sometimes our area is, but I was hoping to open a drop-in center. I may have mentioned to you at one point, at an empty house in our neighborhood now, which isn't obviously empty, and it's been set to actually be demolished for quite a while now. A couple months at least. it's still standing there, and the weather's getting colder, and winter's coming, and they're doing stuff like taking away homeless people's encampments because people are complaining about them or whatever. And they're trying to help them out, but it's not easy. And I'm not necessarily saying that's what I want right across the street from us. No offense to anybody who's struggling in that way. But I've wanted to have a drop-in center, and it's something I talked about with my friend, actually. But, they said they weren't intending to rent it out anytime soon. Doesn't look like they ever looked into Habitat for Humanity. I've tried to reach Habitat myself a couple times, not heard anything back. I kind of remember how to reach the caretaker, but if it needs a lot of work and we need to do it, I don't know enough people in the industry. If only Ripner was local, and I'm not skilled enough in that, and I can't afford to do that. And if they're not willing to work with me on it, the ones who own it, connected to owner of the church, then what do we do, right? Anywho, sorry for that rambling and storytelling, but you didn't seem to mind, so that's cool. But yeah, so I'm full of surprises. Good ones, though. Sometimes in pears. Sorry. And sometimes in apples and bananas. Anyway. Sometimes I have to shake my own head. Sometimes I have other people do it for me. Sorry. Oh, my God and God. Okay. So now you know just how much of a goofball I am. I do need to hop off very soon, but was just hoping to hear you sing before I go. Oh, absolutely. And I was actually thinking of doing that because I'm out of stories for now. I've got lots of stories from past and things I hope for the future, but for now. So I'm just going to close this door. It's letting in damp air anyway because it's raining. Got a bit of fresh air in here. Feeling mildly feverish. Again, if the phone rings during this, I don't want, a voicemail's been being a bit wonky. I don't want to miss that call, but I shouldn't be on it more than 15 minutes. She's going to have hopefully 2 quick answers to something. One of them I don't really have answer I'm hoping for, but I hope it's a good one either way. And the other one I do, and I hope I get it. Come on, my angels and Ray, and anybody that prays. Work some wonderful magic for me, because this is the ability that I have. And yes, you're hearing it, and ANVB heard me do some music last night, but online is great, and sometimes it's just way too quiet, like as you're noticing, because there's a lot on YouTube, but in person is also nice. And I don't do bars, I don't drive, so I don't get opportunities very often. I sort of want to move this here. Okay, so I appreciate your patience. I think I'll do it on the guitar because I'm sort of feeling that. And this is a slow song with a beautiful and relatable message that I don't want it to get, not that that's what it would do, but I don't want it to be lost because somebody's focusing so much on, basically, I don't think this is one to mess with the style with. When I do that with other ones, I'm not actually even trying to mess with it or trying to make it say that it's not good, but I just don't think this one would fit with doing that, essentially. It sounds like you're familiar with it, and yes, this goes out to our listeners, but also my dad in heaven. I was 11, so I've had a long time to come to terms and accept that I only have him as an angel now in my life, but I'm so thankful for that as well. Angels in heaven, angels on earth, and angels online. That's what makes the world go round. That's what makes it a lovely, peaceful, beautiful existence. The great man I never knew lived just down the hall. Every day he said hello, but never touched at all. He was in his paper, feel the fields, and I was in my How was I to know, he thought, I hung the moon. The greatest man I barely knew came home late every night. He never had much to say, too much was on his mind. I never really knew him, and now it seems so sad. Everything he gave to us took all he had. Then the days turned into years, the memories keep black and bright. People growled like the old winter wind blowing across my life. The greatest words I barely heard, some ways never will. The man that could never die. Slightly chorded wrong. Around 20-something years, he was good at business, but there was business left to do. He rarely said he loved me. Guess he thought I knew. And then underneath it says, beautiful song, isn't it? Applause. Literally, it says it. I'm not playing around. I don't know if you can see that. The lighting is... There we go. Whoops. Let me scroll, though. Just in case you think I'm just asking for applause. I live for the applause, applause. Live for the applause, applause. There, right at the bottom. Beautiful rendition. Yeah, I sang it a little bit deeper than I usually do. It wasn't even meant to be a rendition as much as me just doing it, but it was a jog-dition instead of a walk-dition, an addition. All of the above. It reminds me of my dad too. Oh yeah, but for different reasons. Okay, well, I have to be curious to hear that about that sometimes, perhaps. Thank you for sharing this with me. I'll listen again soon. Yeah, I read that way because it was a mild typo, and my eyes can figure that out. But thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that. We've got a second person here too. I hope you're just. Oh, you both left. At least it looks like you have. One of you I know. The other one was kind of abrupt and didn't say anything. How rude. Just kidding. Anywho, but kind of. Okay, well, I might do more Reba later. And, I altered that because, I'm very literal, like I say, and I try not to do that with songs, but when my heart strongly tells me to slightly adapt it to make my own version or rendition, not trying to make money from it. I didn't even intend to do it in this podcast. But, it's, like it said, been gone a certain number of years, but that is so not accurate to my story that I had to change that part. He did say he loved me. We started to do that a little bit more, actually, as he, not long before he died, I think. Passed away. I was not a teenager yet, but I was getting a little bit older and more mature. It kind of didn't stick, just kidding. But and I don't know. Maybe there was, he was the first and biggest loss that I ever had. But maybe there was, his parents or God or something. I don't remember it strongly, but I kind of remember it happening, and I'm thankful for it. We know it now in our own special way. But there was, again, two people there for a moment. But yeah, we know it now in our own special way. But and we did know it then, even though we didn't say it, and even though sometimes we would fight. And was very poignant, sharing a bit about that in one of my recent videos. Essentially, a lot of you youngins, just kidding, we get frustrated with our parents, and we may say we hate them and we hope they die and all this and that. And I mean, some parents really aren't good parents. They're not cut out, and they shouldn't be, for whatever reason, or they're abusive, and that's mostly what I meant anyway. He wasn't. I was just a handful, and that hasn't changed. So I'm not mad at him, for disciplining me as he did. I know that he was still a loving father that worked very hard for us. As I was singing that song, there was one thing. Okay, now it's being wonky at the top, so maybe I'll. Oh no, but now it's okay. I'm just thinking for a moment because he had a paper route, and every now and then I still see them here. Those are more flyers. He had a paper route, and I'm thinking that was probably around 10 to 11 already. Well, probably around 4 or 5 in the morning. He would do that. His other job was certainly during the day. Both of them. One may have went to midnight. And, when I had school, and even lots these days, I'm still mostly in bed before midnight. But then I certainly was. So he would get home not long after I got to sleep, probably. And then be out working a lot. I didn't see him that much. But we did see each other. He also helped out at the schools a little bit that I went to. I can't remember what he did. And that's actually still something that a lot of parents do, whether it's in the cafeteria line. But I mean, in my high school, I was one of the ones that helped with that. There was a few of us, especially, and then sometimes it was like, if you had the cooking class right before lunch, we also had one for the teachers. And then in grade school, it was bring your own lunch, pretty much. I mean, they had a snack stand, right? And they had chips and frozen yogurt and all that good stuff. But yeah, so yeah. But I don't remember what he helped with. He certainly wasn't the lunch lady, but I think for giggles, if nothing else, he might toy with the idea, especially this time of year. That's a visual. And some people may say that's a really awkward visual too. But there's something funny and special about it too, I feel like. And as I shared a little earlier, also something somewhat relatable. I can't believe it comes up sometimes. This. He just told me telepathically that we'd be the two best lunch ladies at the school. We might get some food wasted and thrown at us. But we'd also these days, I think, have a lot more people coming to us in support and love. And I am actually sensing that my dad said, you know what? I just want you to be you, and you know that. And he says, if that's most comfortable just when you're at home, fine. Yeah, struggling at and sometimes I don't want to, but it's like, but he says, fine, then you do that. But if you were ever to go out and about and do it, I know I can only offer this as much as I can from here. But he says, yeah, I think I would, to help you feel confident and not alone. He says, sure. And this is interesting. He says, sure, I could just be me, and do that. But he says, I do a little something in, for lack of a different word, solidarity. He says, whether it's I'd wear lipstick, I'd put on a little makeup of some sort, He says, you know, when I passed away, other than sleep deprived, I wasn't unhealthy. And I mean, it's what we wish to believe, you know, of our loved ones that have passed away. We wish to believe that they, um, if they had health problems when they passed away, they don't now. And one thing I've learned with my channeling for mostly my self ability is that when our loved ones pass away, um, especially of health issues, they get to pick the age or age area that they'd like to be in. Like my friend Ray was in her early 30s, but she, was doing better in her early to mid 20s. And then, it was kind of very on and off. Sometimes she, her health and simply just her energy level because of her health condition um, would vary. But she obviously it got very serious and took her life in the end. Um, but she says, "But I'm okay now, bud. You know that, eh?" And so I guess you're here too. Um, and yeah, so that's cool. She says, "Oh, I wouldn't miss this." She said, "I had a little bit of time. I got to go visit my sister and my Joey soon, but I had a bit of time." And I heard my name. Really, your dad sent me a message in the way that we communicate, which is actually similar to the telepathic, but how they communicate to Earth is also called the Two Earth Machine. But anyway, and basically, don't be jealous. I can help you in this way too, and you can find ability in this way as well. But anyway, basically, she said, I just said pop by for a moment. It's maybe getting a little wild, and someone has to keep you guys in line. Just kidding, buddy. But yeah, so he says, I don't mind having a little fun, and I certainly, even though I can only do it, from heaven now, watching down and that, I wish we'd done more things together, more bonding and more things together. Um, Please, nobody think weird things about that. You know, he just means, more quality time together. I don't know what, he says, well, one thing I would have loved to have done was played music with you. I never thought of myself as much of a singer, certainly not as great as one as you are. But he says, um, if I'd had known I was passing away, and I sing with you from up here, he says, but if I had known that I was going to pass away, I wouldn't have cared if I didn't sing well. And I think because I'm your dad and you have a good heart, I don't think you would have judged me. And he says, we would have sang and done music together. We would have just went to places together. He said he would have maybe put a little bit more effort into the special occasions like birthdays and Christmases. He says he thinks he did not bad, and I'm touching my knees and I feel a little bit negative him. He says he thinks he did not bad, and I think he did not bad either as well. But he says I would have went the extra mile. I'm not saying that people have to, but when we really care about someone, if we're able to, if it's in our means, and we truly, truly, truly are able to, we should. He says, I don't think that I made you feel in a good way as special as I would have liked to in my life. Um, And you truly are. It's not me tooting my bugle. This is channeling my father's angelic presence. And, you know, this feels very hot even though the heat's on. I guess it takes a while when it's been on for so many hours. It means something to me, So pretty much he's just saying, and so do you. You mean a lot to me, and I really love you, and I really miss you. He says, do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do, Cole. I love you so much. He says, and don't ever forget how proud I am. He says, even though we both know I'm just receiving a message, not from God, but from something God is giving me, I feel, with my father, my dad. And it looks like we lost that person, but, not everybody believes. It's okay. They'll have an experience at some point or hear the right thing, and maybe they won't be a skeptic anymore. At least they weren't an idiot. Anyway, point of the matter being is that even though we both know that in some areas I'd like to be further ahead in my life, he says, I see you pretty much making progress every day, getting through every day, even when it's not always easy. It may not be super, super hard, but it's not always easy to get through the days, especially when you have some struggles and challenges that you're dealing with. And, this is very much a message for me, but it's also a message for anybody else who is showing strength in their life and doing their best. He says, that deserves an applause, So those are some reasons why I'm proud. You try and be there for people with your talents, with your heart. It doesn't always get noticed as much as you would like, but when it does, I know that we're both very happy about it. And I'm sure that the other people who are impacted are also very appreciative. I don't want to talk your ear off, but I haven't really visited you much in a while, or at least you haven't sensed me, he says. But I see you looking at your devices and you have to plug them both in, and you have some other things you want to do, and you've been podcasting for an hour and a half and you're tired. And are you speaking my mind? He says, no, I'm just reading it. No, I'm just talking to it telepathically. I'm reading your thoughts. I'm also saying mine. I'm saying I agree with you that maybe it's time to wrap this up now. But don't stop doing it. Don't stop doing it. Even if it doesn't feel like you're bringing something to the world. Didn't be back, and it's important. And he says, if there's anything else you'd like to say to wrap this up, it's letting me do so. So, channeling a little bit of that, and from myself, I want to come back around to this you matter thing, and that you do bring greatness to the world, even if you don't feel like you do. Even if you're not where you want to be with that. And if you think, if for some reason you think I'm a terrible person or nobody likes me, it's probably not your fault. There may be some reasons, but you can always grow and improve. And you can, just be a light in the world. Be a light in a world that so often has darkness. And the person laughed and like, well, now I'm a crying mess. I don't want them to see me. I can't see you. You can only see me unless we arrange a call, but that's better planned. In fact, that's the only way. Anyway, point of the matter being, it looks like you've left, but maybe I'm wrong. But I'm going to wrap up. I might go for another quick 10 minutes just because, yes, it's true. I haven't really communicated with my dad in telepathy in ages. I want to have that My devices will let me, I think, and numerological reasons. He's like, yeah, like that right there is a reminder. Sure, that person who heard you say what you said may have been, yeah, whatever. May have had all kinds of different reactions. He says, um, but what truly matters is that you know what you were trying to get across. Tell yourself maybe they needed to hear it, maybe they didn't. But if they did, maybe you've made a difference for them. Hopefully, someday they might come back and thank you. Hopefully, you don't even have to wait very long for it. But if they don't, they don't. Yeah, no, it's not muted. He doesn't call. What does it call? Well, you know, if they do, it's always great to show your appreciation. Um, Sometimes, when hearing a statement like the one I just mentioned, which it's okay if you missed it, um, some people don't know how to process that. I don't know, if I even would entirely. Um, you know, um, I would agree if somebody said that to me that I matter. I would agree. I would say I'd like to matter more in the world. I'd like to, like I say, uh, be like I have been in my past, but it's not all that easy to recreate the past. In current circumstances, sometimes you can be very stuck, or you just don't know how to go about it. But I would love to. I know I matter. I do know I matter to some people on here. A couple of family members at least, lots of angels, my spouse, our dog, and that, pretty much is keeping me going. You know, um, but um, my contributions are not as large scale as I might like them to be. Let's just say that. But let's just go with these because I'm getting tired and I want to wrap up. But you can see other contributions I've made in the other live streams, um, and no, that one. Yeah, basically, I don't mind sharing the channeling though, even if it is mostly for me, because it might help heal somebody else. It might make someone a little curious. It might um, it might you know it, and I want to look back at it too. I can remember, but if you were to ask me if I could remember every single visit I've had with him or any of my loved ones, or him rather, when I had I don't remember every visit, not because they ain't special, and not because they've been every day, every week necessarily, but I don't. It'd be kind of tricky to do so. Um, I could talk about some, but maybe in another podcast. Now, speaking of my one friend I'm just heating up some coffee. I don't want to overcook it. Speaking of my one friend, for a moment though, I noticed on the top of somebody's profile a song that was actually quoted in her obituary. And the person has 4 mutuals with my spouse, and I want to look into that a bit. Because maybe the people that Ray is trying to bring into my life. So, especially at that workshop about to finish, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to stay in touch with them. I heard a statistic the other day, by the way. I really got to get things. Well, I did plug that in. I got to get this plugged in. I heard a statistic the other day that sometimes, and I've noticed it sometimes too. Thankfully, we did have Mama Gina here briefly, not my mama. I mean, you might live in a different place from your mother, but I can't even. I don't even remember where she lived. I know I asked her earlier, but at the moment I don't remember. I know where my mama lives. Same place I do. Same city, not same home. Thankfully, but sometimes it takes a couple hours for the algorithms to. I don't know. I don't know if I believe algorithms talk slow, if it's really just chance and fate. So the one Linda I was saying about has passed away. The other one might not be far off, actually, because, Leanne passed. Welcome to the two, now one, but if there's anything you'd like to talk about or a song you'd like to hear before I wrap this up, since you're here and that seems meant to be, then feel free to put it in the chat. But she passed in 2016, I want to say. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 7 years ago? Really? Yeah, maybe. And she was 40, so she's 47, 50, 60. Yeah, her parents might only be in their 70s. I mean, they seemed old to me when I was a teenager, but I was young. And her dad may have been 10 years older than her mother, because that's kind of common. And if that's the case, then... and I haven't came across obituaries for either of them, but they could be soon. But I do believe my other friend Linda has passed away, so... Another one to the list. But... if there's something you like to talk... Okay, looks like you left, so... I might wrap up. I have to plug this in. I'm tired. I have to plug myself in. Not talk too much about costumes at Halloween. And it came to mind recently, actually, I think. Not because I saw this costume, but I knew this girl. The first name keeps popping up a lot. And actually, the second part of the name was beer. And people keep talking to me about alcohol lately. Not saying, are you drunk? But they're saying, oh, I'm drinking. In fact, we'll be having our rum and coke and rats and match in Germany soon, probably. I want to take another opportunity just to thank him. So I didn't try the things that he suggested. Didn't find I needed to. But that what I felt was very real in the moment. And again, make sure that he, and maybe even apologize for interrupting. But anyway, point of the matter is I guess it was a little bit of a bit. Point of the matter is that she and her boyfriend, and like an outlet costume. And she was kind of rated G in a lot of the ways that she behaved. Not rated G and C, but well, lately, but it's okay. But rated, yeah. Is that overrated or underrated? I don't know. But anyway, point of the matter, overcooked or undercooked? I don't know. Point of the matter is, I was slightly surprised. But you know what? She was an adult. Adults will be as adults will be sometimes, right? So anyway. But it's not the only thing in life. It's not the only special and beautiful thing in life. And it's not the only way to cherish and make memories with people. But that is important to do. So I hope that you're doing lots of it in your life. There was somebody very briefly there, but it doesn't look like they stayed. And as much as it maybe felt like there was more I could have said on that, or questions I could have asked on what I just said, I'd probably asked them in past live streams. I can't think of what they'd be right now. I'm tired. I'm going to keep saying things in monotone voice. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to put a bow on it. Are you glad I don't talk like that? Are you glad I'm more interesting to listen to and I have more dynamic? So therefore, I don't know if I need to work on changing my voice. It does funky things already, sometimes more than other times. So. What's up, Doc? Don't mind me. Can't tell you. Anywho. I think I do. I don't know if I'd be that good at it. I don't know. Not that I don't know a lot of the ones that people would probably request, but that's also another reason. But it's so good. I'm gonna burn me. I have no choice, babe. It ain't no lie. Baby, that's why I'm gonna burn me. Anywho, it's ironic because of a memory I had about karaoke not long ago. But that device is plugged in. It would last long enough to do a song. This might as well, I'm not sure. But I've thought about doing that one song the other day, and I decided I don't think I would. Even though I don't even have to keep repeating the story each time someone new comes in. I could just type it in the comments and hope that the people that tune in will hear it, read it. Maybe because they're thinking of saying something, or they just will. But I don't know. Maybe one of their other songs. I don't know. But that is, somewhat what alcohol can kind of make you feel a bit more free and free spirited. But sometimes it's just who one is, and sometimes it's just having good times with friends, and you let yourself be very free. And so I'm thinking of when we sang a certain song with a few of us at the karaoke, and if they'd just been asked to sing it solo, I don't know if they would have. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten to know him that much, even though we texted a little bit after she passed. He's not really been very chatty, and Justin probably would be even less so. But I haven't had a way of contacting him, and I haven't done so. But we did it because we were all having fun. We may have each had our own other reasons, but fun and having a great host kind of helping us, jump into the song and have a good time. And so many great nights were had doing one of my favorite things, singing and being around cool people, and I won't soon forget her and what she brought to our community and what she brought to my life and other people's lives. She was a very great person, very kind, gentle person with a very great singing voice. Okay, so there was somebody very briefly in here to hear that. I don't know if it was all or what, but yeah. Anywho, time to wrap her up. Put a bow on it. Why does my toes look like it's swollen? I haven't injured it in any way. I could check the mail. I think I saw him with his coffee over here too. Yeah, he had it on that plate, which could damage it. So don't do that again, G. All right, I'm gonna check mail. I'm gonna get the dog. I'm gonna watch other things. I'm gonna have lunch. So, but I hate to do it. Not telling you to go anywhere. Certainly not. And there's been a bit of activity. A couple people may have meant to but either it didn't stick or they got distracted or the device died. Okay, works for me. But I was gonna say. I don't have to say it because I think you left. Although sometimes it says that when there's like one or two people here. It's like, oh, what have you left? Or the only one that was here left. And then they're like, no, I haven't. So that's another example of the glitches sometimes. I mean, I love the platform, but it can be a bit glitchy. But I'm going to assume that you left. It's not that I don't care. You're welcome to comment on this video or any of my other lives that jump out at you or that spark your interest. But I've been rolling for an hour and 46 minutes. It says there's somebody here again, though. And again, I'm not telling you yet. Man. Okay. And I don't know. That may have been a different person. It may have been the other person saying, I think this video was trying to wrap up. I was going to come back and watch it, but it's either looping and repeating itself because he just said the same thing twice, or he's still trying to wrap up, or it was a different person who sensed it. Whatever it is, I think I should wrap up for all the reasons that I've mentioned. Take care. Have a good day. Be kind to each other. Don't be shy.